Good evening, newbies, and welcome to Nonprofits Empowering Worlds podcast. We are joined today by Ada Babino. She is the founder of SABIFF, which stands for the San Antonio Black International Film Festival. I am your host, Bridget Scarborough. I am a nonprofit strategist, and I am the founder of 501c3 My Org. I'm also part of the Female Solution, which allows us to bring you this broadcast today. So we're going to give you a warm welcome from the Female Solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Leaders of Nonprofits Empowering Worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
Hey.
Hi, Ada.
I like that. I like that Female Solution. That's a new thing. I like that.
Yeah, so the Female Solution is a network of female podcasters. And we have a show at 7 o'clock in the morning and at 7 p.m. So my slot is Thursday at 7 p.m. But we have a different host for every single day of the week, even on Saturdays and Sundays at 12 noon.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you can go to the Female Solution YouTube channel. You can see my podcast as well as all of the other hosts. And then it usually streams on our individual channels as well. So you can see this podcast on my channel, which is 501c3 My Org, my YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And most of the other hosts, like I said, they have their own channels as well.
I like.
Okay. Yeah. So check them out, because I start every morning at 7 a.m. looking at one of the Female Solution shows. So while I'm getting ready, because I start work at 8 o'clock. So at 7, I'm getting ready. I'm listening to the podcast, and then I'm listening to them while I'm walking to work. And
just start your day, get your day started. That's good.
And it's always positive. We all have shows that are positive, that are informative. So definitely check us out. You got a podcast too. We're going to talk about that later. But first, I want to formally introduce you. So Ada, thank you for joining us. Ada is the founder of the San Antonio Black International Film Festival. This is an organization that I personally have been involved with. It is an organization that's dear to my heart. It has inspired me in my life. You have inspired me. So I'm not going to talk too much about the mission, because I want you to go into that. But I just want to let the audience know that, SABIFF is an organization that has done a lot, and I definitely believe in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up your logo and let you tell us a little bit about what is SABIFF, what is its mission, and how do you go about achieving that?
Okay. gonna bring it over up, or you just get going? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Well, we started the mission. First of all, Bridget was our board member. Bridget, you have been someone who has pushed us up to even get started to be a nonprofit, because we started out with fiscal agents. But SABIFF is in terms of our mission, the San Antonio Black International Film Festival. Our mission is to showcase quality films and advocate for and support filmmakers of African descent. And we expose and educate audiences just to a merit of subject matters and stories and voices and perspectives and diverse images of Black people throughout the global diaspora that have really historically been underrepresented. So I look at us as we are empowered through Black film, and we amplify industry creatives and quality films from Black perspectives in San Antonio here, where we're based, as well as beyond across the worldwide web. Yeah, that's who we be.
So what motivated you to start this organization, and why San Antonio?
So I am a native of San Antonio, born and bred here. My father retired from the military, Fort Sam military retiree. And so we ended up here. I have Louisiana roots. My mother and father are both from Louisiana. But I was born and bred in San Antonio, went to elementary, high school, or whatever, all the way up to graduate from high school. And then I went off to dance school for a minute. And then I ended up going to an HBCU. So I went to Howard University. And there is where I discovered film. I discovered that there was something called Black independent film, which I never knew existed, because as you're growing up, all you see is what's in front of you, and that's Hollywood movies. And so you really don't see your place in that arena, because it seems so distant and so out of reach. But at Howard, I was taught Black independent filmmaking, and taught by some of the, Black independent filmmaking veterans, and really just badasses at Howard. And that really opened my eyes to the power of what film is and what it can do. I know this is a long answer to why I started the festival, but it goes back to the history. And so I actually, changed my major from dance to broadcast production, which included radio, television, and film. And so out of the film department, I became a student of Haile Garima and Abi Ford, Alonzo Crawford. Those were names at the time who were doing independent films and teaching film at Howard. And found out Haile was one of the LA Rebellion filmmakers from 1976, who at UCLA, they charted the course of creating films that spoke from a perspective that was anti-Black exploitation, anti-Black Hollywood, white Hollywood. And so being taught by someone who was just a badass, that really didn't take shit from people, that really pushed you to tell what your own stories that you were passionate about, creating stories you were passionate about. And so I ended up, after I graduated from Howard, working on his film Nunu at the time. And that film became Sankofa. And that was a film that just historically now we know that it created a film movement, because he ended up having to four-wall theaters after he got rejected from other major festivals, and actually distributing his own film. So that life lesson of actually working on that film in Jamaica and Ghana, and then having to distribute it print by print in DC and Baltimore and Atlanta and Chicago. We just went from Boston, we went from city to city with that one print. That really taught me just how powerful film is, because people, regular working class people took that film and word of mouth spread the word and got everybody on board to support and come see Sankofa, our little one print film in one theater in one city by city. And that was out doing Schindler's List was out. And Sankofa is a film about slavery, but it's about resistance and rebellion aspects of slavery, which you don't typically see. anyway, all of that built a part of who I am and who I came to be in terms of wanting to be a filmmaker. That inspired me to make my own film. That inspired me to start a speakers bureau agency, booking highly and other Black independent filmmakers. All of that. So I learned independent filmmaking, I learned production coordination, I learned casting, I learned location scouting. I mean, everything from that one film had pushed me forward. And when I ended up coming back home to San Antonio after being in DC for 30 something years, that caused me to, when I came back home, there was not anything here that represented me. I'm from San Antonio, 7% Black population. I even entered my grandmother's film that I did. I did a documentary on my grandparents into their San Antonio Film Festival and didn't even get accepted. And I was like, why didn't I get accepted? I'm from San Antonio. The film is quality. And so it was like, when I got back, and I just, there was no film community here that was Black. I came from DC. Come on. So it was like black to you're maybe a thought in somebody, an afterthought in somebody's world. They didn't give about you here. So that really pushed me forward to think about starting a festival here. So in 2018 I met with a brother named Andor, who is an entrepreneur, and he started doing films here as well. And we met with some other filmmakers, and we put together a meeting, and I proposed the idea of doing a film festival. And they went for it. They were like, yeah. And so that's really how it started. We were at the Carver Library here, which is on the east side of town, where typically is the Black side of town historically, where I was born and bred. And so, we just, once I got the okay for them to get started and get going with it.
Are those your grandkids in the background?
That's it. Yeah, we got folks in the background. We're gonna have them. That's my and I came home actually to care for her, so I'm doing elder care while I'm here and working on the festival. But that really got me started. People affirming, yes, let's do it. And so once we got started, we met in the fall of 2018. 2019 in February, we had a small launch at the Carver Library, which is our cultural hub on the east side here. And we showed films by local independent filmmakers, myself, Andor's film, and by October, we had the full-fledged festival, based on all of the experience that I tell you, that historically I got from Haile, from Sankofa, all my 30-something years in DC allowed me to have the experience and the ability to produce this festival. And it's the same as organizing a film. Creating a festival every year is you go through the same pre-production, production, and post-production process. So all of those skills were very transferable to allow me to be able to do this. Yeah.
Well, I, for one, know that what you're doing is impactful, because when I moved to San Antonio, it was a couple of years before I actually found a Black community. And it was a large part due to your festival that I was able to tap into a Black community, because I had been there a couple of years and I was like, where are all the Black people?
Where are the Black people? Yeah.
And I wasn't really familiar with like the east side versus the west side and where the Black people lived. Me being from Chicago, I know where the Black folks are here, but but when I went to San Antonio, I didn't really see a strong Black culture. And that was one of the reasons that made me very excited when I attended your festival, because that's how we actually met. I attended your first festival.
I remember.
As a patron.
Because you signed up after that and you started coming to meetings, and it's like the rest is just like taking off from there. But it's really, San Antonio is the way that this city is set up. It's like northeast, south. It's very apartheid the way it's set up. And the mentality to me is also that because it's like, you know, the Hispanics on West Side and Blacks on the East Side, whites on the North Side. But now, I mean, I've been gone 30 years. So the city has really just spent. And at one time, Black folks were more in a I don't know. I think the communication was better. When we had a 1 a.m. Black station, and you know, but now that since the advent of the internet and people moving around and all of that, you know, it's
hey mama.
She's looking for something. I hope she don't cut the light on with the light on. But now it's so different in terms of it's like even coming back home 30 years later, it's like, where are the Black people? You know, it's like, how do you find them? And there's not that many folks like you who actually are looking and to find. You know, you gotta like I don't know. That's been one of our biggest challenges, and that is marketing. Trying to find Black people, trying to get them to come to the festival, because it's very tribal here. You know, it's very tribal. If you're not in a fraternity, a sorority, a mega church, you know, they don't really support unless they're involved with their activities. So it's been quite a challenge trying to get folks to come into the fold to really take advantage of all that we offer. And you know, you've been behind the scenes working with us, so it's a challenge.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you offer. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what you offer. I put together a little montage of some of the past festivals, because now we're on year 8, correct? We've done 7 festivals.
We've done 7,
okay.
and the bizarre thing is, so we started in 2019, and then 2020 was COVID, and 2021 was COVID. So we started, and then it was shut down. So after we shut down, it was like we had to scramble to figure out how to do this online.
That was the year that I came on. The first year that you went online was the first year that I came on as a board member.
Yeah, it was.
So the first festival I was involved with you all was online.
Okay, that's 2020, 2021. Yeah, I mean, we jumped online, and the good thing about jumping online was that we had the opportunity to get a larger audience. So that first year on 2020, we had like 33,000 people watching, but that was on lockdown though. That was on lockdown. But we had 33,000 people watching, and it was just like, wow. So we're trying to keep that momentum, or get that momentum back, to get the amount of people we have, but that we had. But yeah, this year is exciting. Yeah, yay, uprising. So we do things every year.
So every year you have a theme, and we're about to work backwards a little bit here, just to give people an idea of the festival and some of the themes that you have. But it's not just a festival. I want people to understand that you have panel discussions, right? You have workshops. You have the Ankh Achievement Award, which we're going to talk about, where we've had major filmmakers that have made major contributions to the industry come and receive awards at your festival, such as Charles Burnett, who received an award the first year that I was involved.
Charles Burnett, Ozan Palsy from Martinique, Haile Gorima. We've had
Alicia Rashad,
Debbie Allen. Yeah, I mean, so we have been, and Ava DuVernay did a virtual with Haile last year for our 2025 award. So every year is different. Yeah, this year we'll talk about more detail, but this year is Uprising. Last year was Action Vision. The year before that was Health, Refocus, Recharge, Refresh, and the year before that was HBCU Love. And the themes that really the themes involve the whole who we program at the festival, who we invite to the festival. For instance, HBCU Love Festival. Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen both were HBCU grads, Howard University grads. And so they were our Ankh Achievement awardees. But we also had that year, everybody that was on a panel discussion or spoke was from an HBCU. was from an HBCU. Had dry mouth. Excuse me. So every theme revolves around who's involved in the festival. And so, yeah, that was a special year. We had Animation in Black, where we had Bruce Smith, the creator of the Proud Family. And so that was also, I am so sorry. Go ahead, Bridget. I'm sorry. I'm like losing my voice in the middle of a live.
It's okay. But, so since you mentioned Felicia Rashad, I'm going to go ahead and show a quick clip of Felicia when she visited.
And I'm going to run and get some water while you do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Well, yeah, that was a really nice surprise that she was able to come. That's when she was at Dean at Howard University's Chadwick School of Fine Art.
Me and sharing my screen do not always get along, so bear with me.
I'll talk while you're doing that. Yeah, so that was really a wonderful year. And that year we had, like I said, everybody that was involved was from HBCU. So we had people talking about post-production who were in HBCU. We had, was that the year before that was editor. We had editors talk. We had, oh my God, I'm like losing track of all that we had that year, but it was a very special year. And we held it at an HBCU here in San Antonio. At St. Philip's College, which is an HBCU here in San Antonio. So that was a very special year. The year that we came out right after COVID was Animation in Black, and that was special. We did, we brought animators from all around the world virtually. We had interviews set up with people from animators from Cameroon, from Jamaica, we had, it was, I want to say Uganda. I can't remember. No, Senegal. And so we still have all of those shows, those interviews that we did. We still have all of those on YouTube, our YouTube channel. So you can go to San Antonio Black International Film Festival or SABIFF YouTube channel and see we have like over 100 interviews recorded that stay on our YouTube channel. Did you get it? Did you find it? Bridget? Did you find it? I think you're frozen. Yeah, there goes Animation in Black. That was a wonderful year because that was right after COVID. And Bruce Smith is the creator, animator, executive producer of the Proud Family. So we gave him an Ankh Achievement Award, and he held classes at St. Philip's College, the HBCU here in San Antonio. Kids really ate that up. The band performed. Sam Houston High School, my high school band, I'm alumni from Sam Houston. They came and performed the Proud Family, and we marched into the auditorium. That was a fun festival. And after that year, before that year was, I want to say, Black women. We focused on Black women. Sisters in Cinema was 2021. And then 2022 was We're All in This Together. And it dealt with, that was when George Floyd got murdered. And that's when we were on lockdown. Everybody was in their homes with the pandemic. That was that year we dealt with a lot of things on race.
So
racism.
I'm trying to share my screen, but it seems like it's small.
It seemed like it's stuck on animation in black. I see the animation in black. It seems to be stuck on that one. But yeah, I was trying to reflect back. Before that was Black women in film. We had Black women editors, Black women directors, Black women writing. We had a it was all virtual, but we had a session on women writers in the writers' room, Blacks and women and writers in the writers' room, and they talked a lot. We learned a lot with the stuff, and that again is recorded on our YouTube channel. You can go and check all of that out on our YouTube channel. You weren't able to get it?
Yeah, it actually kicked me off. So I think I'm going to forget about that for the moment. Maybe we could try again a little later.
No, it's no problem. That's why I don't play with live a lot of times. You're good. You're brave. I love it.
It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss with sharing this screen. It was slowing everything down. It kicked me off. So I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. But going back to the festival itself, I just want you to give us more of a picture of what all is entailed with the festival, because there is a lot involved. It's not just showing movies. And then talk to me a little bit about what problem is this solving? Why is this needed in the community? And how is this a nonprofit? What is the charitable component of what it is that you do?
Oh, you're giving me grant questions. Wait a minute. Back up. I'm like out of grant mode. I'm like, I just had two that are due, and I'm just like, I'm brain dead with grant mode.
Well, let's start with tell us about the festival. What are some of the things that it entails? Give us a picture of what people could expect when they come to the festival.
Well, first of all, I think people have a mindset that a festival, like you said, is just films.
Yeah.
But you have to add more to a festival than just films for people to come out. And I want to talk about the film aspect of it, because that is the heart and soul of any festival, showing rare Black independent films that you will not see anywhere else but in a film festival. But film festival is composed, so we start off planning every year, starting with the theme, and that really drives us forward, because we're going to put the people in the festival that connect to that theme. And that could be via workshops, that could be via panel discussions, that could be lectures, that could be music, the tone, the type of musical acts that we bring. For instance, this year is History Uprising. So for that, our musical acts would be centered around blues or zydeco or jazz, something that has the history that really connects us as a people, from the roots, from our history. And so I'm feeling blues. So we're in the organizing stages of that now, but that's blues, zydeco, something very earthy, historical. So all of that is tied in. We'll have panels. Like last year we had Action Vision. We brought in 2 activist artists, and that is artists that paint pictures with meaning and purpose, and that inspire change. So those 2 artists spoke at a Black art gallery, and the Black art gallery exhibited art that reflected the theme. So the artists that were there, the Prince brothers, Stephen and Antoine Prince out of New Orleans, very powerful work. I mean, one of his paintings was a brother being hung from a tree, and the rope was extended on the painting. And so, and then he talked about that, and the lecture was about the work. So it deals with that. It deals with bringing in the people that connect to the theme. We had a Black History bus tour, which we're going to do again this year, by San Antonio Black History bus tour. They Melanized Media, 2 brothers, Andor, who's one who helped me get started with this film festival. They organized a bus tour where they take you to the Black history, give you the Black history segments of San Antonio. And so that gives those that are out of town or those that are in town and are disconnected with our history an opportunity to take the bus tour. We were doing an Ankh Achievement Award and our Mbutu Community Awards. Mbutu is Swahili for I am because we are. And so we were having that community award and the Ankh Achievement Award, not one night after the other. And we're going to switch that up and do the awards every other year. But the Ankh Award will bring the red carpet reception, which gives folks an opportunity to mingle and network before the actual starting of the festival. If we're bringing someone in for the Ankh Award, again, it would tie into the theme. And we have a presentation of theirs, either their a short film or a film with a post discussion, and we give them an award like they would award any award show that you've seen on TV. It would be a whole performance, a whole show attached to the award with the Q&A session. We do have school matinees every year where we have workshops and short films, again, tied around the theme.
Yep.
Last year was Action Vision. So we had speakers from Story Corps, Brightness in Black, talk about reframing the image. Kelvin Phillips came in and talked about reframing the image. We had Andor talk about documentary history, the importance of that. And we had an activist mom who is also a writer and a poet, spoken word person. We had her speak to the kids in addition to curating short films around the theme. And we also have a lot of networking. We have networking sessions. That goes, Charles. That was our first Ankh Achievement Awardee. And we had to do that virtually.
Yes.
We had Charles virtually, where we talked with him, did an interview with him. We had the cast of To Sleep with Anger, which is a film. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's an excellent film. We had Danny Glover, Charles Lumbly come on virtually with Charles and talk about the making of that film. So yeah, we have discussion, we have dialogue. But one of the things that we have the filmmakers. The way that we get the films to play in the festivals, we have an open call. So that's what we just started on Monday. We had our open call that started January 26th. That open call runs between 5 to 6 months. And we have judges that judge the films online. And the films that are selected are programmed and curated to go into the film festival as films in competition. So those films in competition, in addition to an Audience Choice Award, which is voted for online, and you have to go and vote for the favorite film. We have voting online. Those filmmakers are awarded in a special ceremony, like you would just see the Academy Awards or the Oscars. The same thing. It's and the winner is, and the award goes to. We do the whole. Yep. Dressing up on the films and showing the films. We have a band, we have a gala, a dinner. All of that is wrapped into the award ceremony for the filmmakers, as well as the Mbutu Award would be a part of that. So we're going to do Mbutu Award this year for that. And then we have, dinner, dancing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, one of the things that really inspired me when I attended the film festival was the discussion with the filmmakers afterwards. And the first time that I attended the film because I like to talk and I like to have deep discussions. So when that was one of the things that attracted me, is that I could actually meet the filmmaker there and have a discussion with the filmmaker about the film, ask them questions. So I've always been a person that enjoys meeting authors. You know, I'm a person that has a lot of books that are signed by the author. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy getting to know the creative, the person behind the product, and what was their thought process, and kind of getting into their mindset. So that was one of the things that inspired me about the festival.
And
That made
one
me
of the
want
things
to get involved was
I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you
because
off.
a lot of not all the filmmakers are there, but a lot of them show
Come.
up and engage with the audience. And
And
there's
that's
a
the
Q&A.
special part of it, I think. I mean, that part where you can actually talk to the filmmaker after the festival, or one of the comments I got, and we've gotten some really good reviews. If you go to filmfreeway.com, you can, as a filmmaker, submit to your open call, which is now. So go to filmfreeway.com and put in SABIFF 2026, SABIFF 2026. But one of the things that, we have our reviews, we've gotten some great reviews from filmmakers, because this is a platform for filmmakers also, because once you make a film, you need a place to show it. And that's where film festivals come in. If you look at people like Spike Lee, Ava DuVernay, Kudla, people like that, they started at film festivals, Black independent film festivals and other film festivals. That's where you start before you make it a lot of times big. So it's like a starting ground for a lot of filmmakers. One of the filmmakers that we were going to award a prize to, I want to say that was 2021, Hailey's son, Malawi Magurima. We were going to award him a prize. We couldn't move forward with rewarding him because he had to pull out, because he had got a distribution deal before the film festival ended. So I say that to say that a lot of times this is the ground floor of where you're going to see Black talent, Black independent filmmakers, talent, and stories that you really won't get a chance to see. So although we don't just show movies, it's important to note that that's the heart and soul of the festival. So to come and see these movies and see the diverse range of movies, short films, documentaries, feature films, animation, music videos, student films, all of that curated into these blocks that you can see nonstop on our Soul Saturday. So we typically have a 4-day film festival. It ranges between 3 and 4 days, but we have a Black Friday. If we're going to do Thursday, we're not doing Thursday this year, but it's Thrilling Thursday if we do Thursday opening. But this year we're opening with Friday, which is Black Friday. And then we have Soul Saturday. Black Friday is typically, we have our filmmaker reception, the networking session with the Film Commission. The Film Commission comes in and we usually invite folks just to network and meet each other and talk and all of that. And then we have our student matinees in the morning. And then we have a panel discussion on a particular subject. So this one's going to be dealing with history. And then we have Soul Saturday, which is film showing simultaneously at the Carver Community Cultural Center on 2 screens all day. Get your movie, go get your vending during the breaks, and just catch movies. Have a full day. Yep. And then we have we break, and then we have our evening awards gala, which entails music, networking, dancing, and a whole drawn out ceremony and dinner. And then best of show is Sunday, where we close out and have a party, best of show, some short films. We mix in Cinema Under the Stars. And so that is a family day, a marketplace where vendors come out. We show a rare film that's, again, related to the theme. At this wonderful park right near our downtown area. Everything that we do is beautifully in line. It's like in a circle. We're at the Aiden Hotel, which is in the historic St. Paul Square. We're down the street from the historic Carver Community Cultural Center. The park is around the corner. If we do Cinema Under the Stars, it's there. And so we typically try to put everything close-knit. We try to utilize economic development on the East Side by hiring locals as talent, as musicians, as hosts, as behind-the-scene folks. We support Black businesses and all that we do. When we do our meet and greets or our fundraisers, we're meeting at Black restaurants. It's an ecosystem. It's a film ecosystem that we're trying to create. It's not just SABIFF once a
It
year and
really
you're done.
is.
We don't want to just be done with one festival.
Absolutely.
We want to create a movement where we are bringing creatives together, where we're advancing each other. We want to start collab and create, connect, collab, and create, where we're actually meeting and learning who's here in different professions, so we can work together and learn together and build. We want to build a community here. That's one thing that San Antonio did not have when I got here, which was a creative community that is in cahoots, that is working together and supporting each other and growing. And that's what we need here. That's what it's lacking. And so that's what we're trying to do, build a movement here, film movement.
And I want to emphasize that the films are not just San Antonio filmmakers. You get films coming in from all over the globe. Mm-hmm. People that are part of the African diaspora, filmmakers that are whose lineage is part of the African diaspora from all over the globe. So filmmakers travel to come. Filmmakers whose films are being shown travel to come and engage with the audience. So
that's what we need to continue to build. But that's what we need to continue to build, to get more audiences to be in those auditoriums, to be in those seats. Because as a filmmaker myself, you want people to see your works. And so that's one of the areas that we're really working, trying to build audience capacity. And one of the ways to do that, I think, is for us, and we've got to work on this part, is to connect with Black travel groups, like book clubs. Like this sister called me and said, my book club is coming this year. And I'm like, yeah. So we need that type, retirees and young folks and school students to come and see these films, to come and experience the networking, the filmmakers talk back. One of the really good reviews I got from somebody about the festival, they said that they love that it's intimate. Like, who can just walk in a lobby and sit and talk with Haile Garima or Charles Burnett? It was just so laid. It's very laid back. It's very cool. It's very approachable. No divaites that you can't see or you can't speak to. Everybody is just very cool and warm and welcoming. And those are the type of experiences that we want to create. We want to have something impactful that when you leave, what draws you back is that the warmth and the empowering connections in films that you got a chance to take part in. Yes, that was our HBCU love with Felicia Rashad. She was so just, her character.
So I was able beautiful. To find.
Yeah, she had a beautiful character.
I was able to find Felicia Rashad and the SABIFF team.
Yeah, that was very memorable.
There I am in the background, not even looking at the camera.
Not even looking at the camera. Yes.
I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Right, so a lot of good memories. We've done a lot of great things. This year, I'm excited. We partnered with the Pan-African Festival in San Antonio that Andor Mayat, Melanized Media and Cultural, their Pan-African cultural community started. This is the 11th year, but we partnered with this year. We're going to bring back Anthony Browder, historian, Egyptologist, well-renowned. Anthony Browder is coming back for a lecture as part of our History Uprising. He's going to be here in May 2nd, and we are excited to bring him back because we brought him back. We brought him here to San Antonio 2 years ago, and the response was just amazing. It really lets you see how hungry people are for knowledge, for truth. And so we're bringing him back, and then we're going to bring another lecturer back in September. Well, I don't know why I'm doing that.
7 years in, have you had some ups and downs? Have you ever felt like quitting? What keeps you going?
I don't know what I am. Sorry.
I'll give you a moment. Actually, let's take a quick commercial break because we're way overdue for a commercial break. And we can both have some water, and then we'll talk about I want to on a few things when we come back. I want to just talk a little bit about what is the charitable component of what it is that you do. We've talked about the art, the art. And I would like to know, why is this beneficial if other people are trying to start an art nonprofit that's focused on art and art initiative? What is it that makes this something that's important, that makes this charitable, that what problem is it solving? And then I want to briefly touch on a challenge that you just recently had that we talked about. And so I did want to make people aware of this issue that's facing nonprofits right now, including yourself. So we're going to take a quick commercial break while you get your thoughts together and your and lubricate your throat, and we will be right back.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs, but beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good. And it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I got to work, but I can't help it. Everything going too smooth. Now I just about bring my African shit like this. Bring it back.
I'm better, I hope.
Okay.
Okay. That was
all right. So what makes this organization charitable?
So it's so weird. I just started it because there was a need. Because when you start thinking about representation and you're not included, it becomes problematic. And so for me, the charitable aspect of it is to expose the community, expose people, Black people in particular, that's our primary target, to marginalized Black stories, images, voices, and perspectives that we don't normally come in contact with. So a lot of it is exposure, and part of that exposure is education and giving purpose to places that you don't know exist. Like for me, I didn't know that Black independent filmmaking existed. I didn't know that there was a place for me as a creative to speak my art, my culture to the universe. And a lot of the people that I've interviewed over the years, there was no role models, nobody that came before them that they could see that they could do this, And if you think about film, you're using all your senses except taste and smell. But all of the emotional senses, you're seeing, you're hearing, and the power of those two senses on your emotions, on your psyche are very very important in your development. It impacts your identity. It impacts your self-worth. If you look at film and what it has done for people, when we started off with Birth of a Nation, where they introduced stereotypes, the mammy, the buck, the whip, all of those stereotypes has gone on through film in different eras, hidden in different characters, different costumes. I mean, different, but it's still there. You got to be able to decipher it and know your value, know your worth. And so film is a catalyst to help you know your worth and your value. I mean, film has gotten people through hard times. Film has inspired people to be activists, to stand up for social justice causes. And it has taken us to places that we have never physically connected with. So, if you can't go to the Caribbean, you can see a film about the Caribbean. You can see a film about the people in the Caribbean and learn about that culture through a documentary or through a drama. So in that aspect, it's just such an powerful tool of indoctrination, of subliminal seduction. It subliminally seducts you into thinking a certain way, to thinking that you're not beautiful, to thinking that you're not important. Film has done that to people. And so I think that the charitable part is showing people their worth, their value, is letting them hear successful Black excellence and knowing that they can do that as well. A lot of these kids that are coming up don't even know that certain parts of working in a film exists. It's not just producing, directing, and there's costumes. That's a world unexplored, untapped. There's Foleying, making sounds, the soundtracks. There's gaffing and gripping, graphics with the lighting. There's gripping, there's cinematography. There's so many aspects in a film. So many people that put together a film in very lucrative positions that has little representation of Black folks in those positions. So behind the scenes is important of film, being in positions and roles and unions, being in unions. One of the things that Ava DuVernay did, which I applaud her to the utmost, is when she did Queen Sugar, she said, we are going to bring on new Black and women directors only to direct Queen Sugar. So giving independent filmmaker women who were struggling an opportunity to direct, help them get into the union, help them do commercial episodic television directing. And it's very lucrative positions. The gate is often too often closed and shut by the gatekeepers, and not many of us are let in. So this festival really exposes people not only to making films, but to the possibility of what they can become, to the possibility of where they can go. Film has taken me to Berlin, to Ghana, to Milan, to Jamaica. It's taking me and it's taught me, location scouting down south taught me that our history is being removed. When we were looking for slave quarters, all we see is the big house. We were looking for, we see graveyards that are covered up with beautified, because white people want to get rid of our history. They don't want to show our history. So there's so many aspects in terms of, I can just talk about film and what it's done for me in terms of my development, but I don't even look at it as charitable, but I guess it is. I guess it is charitable.
It's absolutely charitable. It's absolutely charitable. What you just described is charitable.
Yeah, I never think about it in those terms, but as you asking me the question, I'm like, yeah, I guess it is charitable. But Yeah, it's life changing. It taught me that I mean, when my experiences working on a film with Sankofa taught me that, hey, I could do my own film. And I created my first film on hair, a docudrama on hair, based on the experience of being involved in Sankofa. Based on that experience, I started this film festival. So I mean, it's life changing. It's life changing, and a lot of kids don't know what.
We have a question. We have a question from a viewer. What are the winning films based on?
So judging takes that's like 10. We have a rubric that deals with
great question, Naima.
Yeah, it is a great question, Naima. But we have a rubric that we go through in the judging process. We're looking at the story. Is it a good story? Is it a relatable story? We're looking at the acting, the characters. Are they realistic? Do they come across as, for me, a good film of characters when they draw you in and you become so concerned and caring about the characters. Characters that don't draw me in, I'm just like, I don't care about them. So that the lighting, the audio, is the audio good? Is the soundtrack good? So we look at all those rubrics, and we have a 10-star base, like you get 1 star up to 10, 1 star to 10 stars. And then you add up all 10 of those questions in the rubric, and the score would base us putting the film in competition, the higher scores. And that is, like I said, the different genres. We accept films by, for, and, or about. So we don't just accept Black filmmakers' films, but a white filmmaker can do a film on Black subject matter, and we'll accept it. Some Black film festivals, they only accept films made by Black people, but ours are by, for, and, or about. And with that, we've gotten some exceptional films from France, from Australia, from UK, with Black subject matters in it, and many of them have won. White directors have won some of the films based on the quality of the work, and they have to have a Black folks working in behind the scenes involved in the project as well. It can't just be a white director and they the only person. It has to be involved in that. But that would be it. The how does it look? How does it make you feel? How the acting? How's the music? Is it pacing good? Does it make you, draw you in, make you feel a certain way? And the judges that we judge are not just filmmakers. We have judges.
And you have judges, right? You're not just
I try to mix the judges up. Yeah. Oh no.
You're not just looking at these movies.
No, we have
a whole team of volunteers.
Mixing it up is important. Not just to have filmmakers judges. Filmmakers are critical, extra critical. So we mix it up with filmmakers, with professors, film professors, with artists, with moviegoers, film aficionados, people that love movies. And they have to go through a little training video, and then they start. And it's a 5-month process. It's a commitment that they have to go through for 5 months to finish. We never know how many films are coming in, and they're all over the world. Film Freeway is the site for film festivals. So people go to that site. It's full of film festivals. You choose which one you want to be in, and you submit your film to that festival. So we try not to charge too much for our festivals, because I've been a filmmaker knowing how that's very costly. So we have an early bird special now until the 28th of February. Like $10, $15 to enter for the early bird special. You can get your film in. And then it goes up when you have a regular deadline, and then it goes up for the late deadline. But that's the process. Looking at a quality, good film. How does it make you feel? Does it look good? Are the characters convincing? Yeah. Music good? Yeah. All of that. But thank you for that question. And go to sabiff.tv, SABIFF.tv, and check us out. We're still putting up. Okay, we're still putting things up this month and next month. We're still adding and putting things up, but I love my new web designer who's kind of really making us look good this year with a site. And we're gonna keep adding.
I was gonna ask you about the site.
Mm-hmm.
Because the last time I spoke with you, the site wasn't up.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was taken down because of flip calls, and that's one of the last things I wanted to talk about before we exit today. So the organization that's behind your fundraising website is an organization called Flip Calls, and you recently had some complications with Flip Calls that actually put you in a very bad situation, as well as a lot of other nonprofits in the United States. So I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit, because Flip Calls has gone bankrupt, and they were the ones that were doing the back end work for your website and also collecting donations that came in through your website. So tell us a little bit about what happened with that when they filed bankruptcy and why that put you in a bad situation, as well as other nonprofits.
Oh my God, this has been like a nightmare. You never think something like this happens. But Flip Calls is actually, they are a fundraising software for nonprofits. And I remember you're the one who turned me on to Flip Calls, and we were with them for 3 years. So they were doing great work. We had a team of people that I could just say, hey, put this on the website, do this, do this. But they have a back office. So when I say a virtual back office, it's like donations come through. You donate online to us. It goes to Flip Calls' back office. And so the files are kept there in terms of who donates, their information, how much they donate. And the money, the donation is processed. I found out through Stripe, which I didn't know before. And then Stripe transfers it to our bank account. So that's the process. Donate, Flip Call, Stripe, bank account. And that was already taken, the cash flow on that was tight because it was like 7 to 10 days, which is crazy to me because you go to PayPal or whatever, it's 3 days, boom, it's in your account. So on Giving Tuesday, we raised over $1,000 on Giving Tuesday. We raised $2,000 and something, but I had it coming in different platforms. I had Zelle and Cash App and Vimeo and Flip Calls, right? From our website, I had it goes to Flip Calls. So we had it coming through different circuits. But the people that donated on Flip Calls to our website, we found out on December 6th, I get an email saying that Stripe pulled out without any explanation, and they are unable to process payments. So I'm like, I just did Giving Tuesday. We had like I think $1,300 in the Giving Tuesday slot that was supposed to be transferred to our bank account. And, that was it. They said, if you want to go to another platform, whatever, we'll help you transition. So I'm like texting and calling and texting and because you can barely get a damn person on the phone. And no response, no communication, no answer. And then I started Googling. I'm like, wait a minute. Found out that that there were like 3,000 nonprofits that use Flip Calls that didn't get their money transferred to their account. They didn't get from the donations that they put out there. It was like over 3,000 charities. It was like $29-something million that they owed. And I'm reading the article. There was an article in the Tribune that's saying just South Coast charities lose $526,000 after donation collecting company goes bankrupt. So as soon as they sent out that email on December 6th, they filed Chapter 9. And so all of our money from all these charities, Flip Call owed $29 million to thousands of nonprofits across the country as of January 9th. Including more than $500,000 to organizations on the Central Coast. And so there's information, to file for what is that? The lawsuit where you have a bunch of folks that, what is that called? I'm just losing. I got a senior moment. Class action. There's class action suit.
You're talking class action.
Yeah, class action suit. They got a cease and desist letter from the state of California. In the meantime, I'm reading things like their CEOs and whoever were paid millions of dollars. So did they get our money? But the money is still not there because they went bankrupt. You don't know if you're going to get your money. You don't know how long the class action suit's going to go. What's going to come of that? But this is just unfreaking believable. So we're starting, I was trying to start in the year ahead, but we're starting, in the red, starting in the red, trying to catch up. I'm, writing grants. I'm trying to do, to take door donations. And so it's just crazy. You don't even think something like this would happen because I didn't have any issues with them other than, not transferring money in time over the past 3 years.
Yeah, they were actually a lifesaver at one point for us, and now
we do our ticket sales. Our ticket sales go on there. All of our ticket sales, all of our donations. That was the portal where the money goes through. So now I'm going with an organization who's really helping out by delaying payment and all of that, just trying to get us to transfer over to them. Neon One is who I'm going with, but there's Give Butter and there's a bunch of other nonprofits. I mean platforms that are really trying to get flip causes victims, so to speak. Shit. But it's really crazy.
How do you guard against something like this in the future? What have you come to any conclusions about what you might do differently, or what you would look for different in another type of fundraising platform?
Yeah, one of the things for me that was important was cash flow. Like, I don't want you to have another processor doing your money. So when I went to them, it's like, what's the
so
time?
That was Stripe. With
Stripe was their middleman, and then Stripe pays. So I went to Neon One. Right. They do it in house, and it's 3 days. Okay. Flip calls was 7 to 10 days before you get paid. Before you get paid for the money that was donated to the organization. The back office and how that works and what is offered in the back office in terms of what they do. I know, like when you donate, you get an automatic letter since you're a 501c3. All of that can be just generated through the back office, which is good. One thing that I don't like is I liked about Flip Calls was that they had a dedicated team that you could say, hey, add this to the website, do this. The other organization doesn't have that, but they do have templates that it's drop and drag templates that will help you easily do your website. But I was able to get a wonderful friend of mine whose website savvy was able to help me get back going and get our website up and running really, really better. Because a lot of times I don't know, I'm not a website designer. I'm just somebody, so I needed a web designer, someone who knows. I was just like, I need this up, I need this up, I need this up. And that's really a blessing. Yeah,
because I think I just spoke with you just a few days ago, and you didn't have a website.
Well, it wasn't the website. Yeah. It wasn't the website. It was I didn't have the back office stuff, the transferring. But the website, no, the website is there. I'm still, and when I'm going to transition totally out of Flip Calls, I got to get all that back office information transferred to the new platform. And so all those donors, 400 and something donors, all of that, all their information has to be transformed over, taken over. The website needs to be transferred over out of Flip Calls' umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Has to be all transferred over. So he's working, we're still under them now until I can get all of that removed. But I'm getting the hell out because, and the rude thing is they're not communicating. And I know they got a cease and desist, so they were probably told that not to communicate, but nothing, no word, no response, nothing. And that right there is frustrating. And then to know that all their CEOs
that is horrible.
Got paid is just like crazy.
Yeah. That's what I found in my research after we talked. I was like, wow. And it's still boggling to me how they can cover that under a bankruptcy, because that is not their funds. It's
right,
it's
and
not
they're being
assets.
protected.
It
They're being
appears that they
protected.
were claiming. Yeah, so that money was supposed to go from the donor to the organizations. They were just a pass through, but it seems like this has been considered assets that they own and liabilities that they own, because bankruptcy covers liabilities. I wanted to try to get a lawyer on this show, just to give a little bit of advice or be able to maybe give some direction. I wasn't able to do it in time enough, but I am going to try to follow up, because that,
I mean, or even just talking to a lawyer. No, but just talking to, if you could just have a show with a lawyer, because the new,
absolutely,
the new robbery, the new way to rob and steal and cheat from people is not going to a bank and robbing a bank with a gun. It's doing shit online. It's taking money from people online. But for me, it's like they're protected with their bankruptcy. But what about all the nonprofits who had very important charitable needs that aren't being met? You had an organization that dealt with immigration, and they don't have their money to help people that are being deported. I mean, it's just mind-boggling.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking of was maybe insurance. I'm wondering if this type of loss can be covered under insurance. And so that is something that can be, needs to be looked at. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more research. I didn't have the time to dot all the I's and cross all the T's before the show, because you told me about this a couple of days ago. But it's been very unsettling with me, that they're able to cover that under the bankruptcy. That is one thing that I would like clarity on, is how that is possible, because it really wasn't their money, and it wasn't their liability. Bankruptcy is to kind of absolve you of liabilities, but if they're considering, it's just interesting that they can consider an organization that they were supposed to disperse funds to, that donors gave the organization. They're just a pass through. It's not like they were giving you money themselves.
Right.
It was money that they were just holding. So I don't understand how that can be covered. That can be considered a debt of theirs that can be covered under a bankruptcy. That's weird to me. But this is America. So we want to be familiar with this type of these type of loopholes.
One thing, I mean, you talked about doing a show on lawyers, but if you bring a lawyer on and someone that does insurance, business insurance, that would be helpful. Because as nonprofits,
but I'm thinking insurance might be a way to, even if this is a loophole that companies can use to get away with fraudulent behavior, then I'm thinking insurance can be a way that nonprofits can cover themselves. So that's something that needs to be looked at. What's the proper insurance that you need to have for situations like this?
That would be good to know. That would be really good to know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because this is a unique situation. I've never come across anything like this, and we need to figure it out, because I think it's going to happen more and more. I mean, if they get away with it, other companies are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad we're having this conversation. We're a little overboard in terms of time. Is there any final thoughts? What do you want? What does success look like for you now, 7 years in? Has that changed from when you first started the nonprofit to now? What you think success looks like, or has it always been the same? And what does that look like for you?
I mean, success is up and down. It's like when you do a film, it's successful getting it done, and then you go through getting a distributor. But for me, one person, two people seeing a film is better than no people seeing a film. So success can come in large numbers, can come in small numbers, but every year I walk away with some point of of uh, of either frustration or just fatigue from things not going, from not having a big audience this year, or at a particular event, and the event is wonderful, the speaker is wonderful, not reaching certain people, not meeting people that you want to reach. So I go up and down, Jekyll and Hyde with this whole festival. It's love and hate relationship, because on one hand, you go through your highs and lows, but on one hand, one person can come to me and say, keep going. Or one person can say, this festival did X, Y, and Z for me, and I appreciate you. And then you're like, okay, I'll keep going. So yes, it's just up and down for me. I do this out of passion. I do this out of probably stubbornness. I'm a stubborn person. I'm like, I know this can work. I know this can be a great festival. I know it has the potential. So you keep churning and churning. You keep starting from ground one. At the end of every festival, starting from ground one, raising funds, planning, curating, doing this, doing that. And so it's like a gerbil on a wheel. It's hard for me to get off right now, because I know that what I'm feeling, what I'm doing is valid, is important, is significant. I want to leave this legacy to grow and be built upon in San Antonio. So every year I learn something new, and kind of realize, oh, that doesn't work. Let me do it this way. Oh, we got to rechange. Or I got to get new people. I got to do this. I got to do that. And so it's constantly making me grow as a director, as a thinker, a visionary. But the successes come and goes, and I don't do things because of success. I do things because I'm driven, and I feel that something is worth it and needed and valued. And believe me, the representation in film and in television and media, that's a constant job that we can never cease from working in that arena. It's like activism. This is my form of activism, giving back to the community. Every theme is a theme of resistance to what we're having to deal with in this community. History uprising, they trying to cut out history here. African American studies is under attack. All of that. This is my sense of resistance, my sense of justice that I'm giving back to the community. So I want to invite everybody to come. We're a hybrid festival, so come virtually at SABIFF.tv. Follow us on Facebook and social media, Instagram, TikTok, all of that, and just be a part of community and help us grow this movement. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Experiences and impact are something that I'm very, very passionate about creating with the work that I do.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to close out. I'm going to attempt one more time to show this clip from Felicia Rashad, and then I will show our final remarks from the Female Solution. So
thank you,
tight.
Bridget. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareth. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.